Medical aid schemes started explaining themselves today to the South African Human Rights Commission. They're accused of racially profiling and discriminating against medical practitioners. The preliminary hearings are to help the Commission decide whether to launch a full investigation into these claims. Medical schemes are adamant the accusations are unwarranted. Janka Tolme is following the story for us. She joins us now live from the newsroom. So serious allegations coming up today, from bullying to spying even.
Yes, Shahan, you might remember that they took this fight to Discovery in Sandton just about a month ago, when a group of medical health practitioners marched to Discovery, making the same allegations, saying their members, and it's mostly black, Indian and coloured doctors, are being bullied, harassed, and there's definitely racial profiling when it comes to how the medical aid schemes treat these specific healthcare practitioners. Just to give you examples of the ones that they used. For example, they're saying that when there are any questionable claims or accounts, the medical schemes, instead of going to the practitioner or to the patient to ask about this, and if there's something wrong, to rectify it, they force them, according to these doctors, to sign acknowledgements of debt. And they're saying that then they hold this above their head, and basically saying that unless you pay this debt, we're going to withhold any of the claims that you are supposed to receive. Another thing that they raised was spying claims. When we were outside the Discovery building, they raised concerns about spy cameras being used today. They said that it's gotten to a point that when a patient enters a consultation room, doctors no longer know whether they are in fact patients or whether they are spies. And what they're saying is, if you look at all these claims and who are the doctors coming forward with these concerns, they're saying none of them are white, and that's why they believe that there is racial discrimination, and these doctors are specifically being targeted. But let's just take a listen to Dr. Donald Gumede, who made submissions to the Commission today.
We need a thorough investigation into these illegalities, because we believe that it's more of money-making scheme rather than actually combating corruption. Because if you want to corrupt fraud, you wouldn't go into bed with a fraudster. You won't say, you pay me, I pay you. That relationship to me doesn't make sense. If I'm fraudulent, I'm fraudulent, leave me. But then how many are paying back these millions that in the website of BHF, Waste Management, last year, you can go to their websites, they will tell you how much they collected. And it's huge amounts. Why is it's never reported to the law enforcement?
Medical aid schemes, of course, rubbishing all of this.
Yes, most of them, we heard from Discovery, MedScheme, as well as GEMS, and most of them coming forward, starting with the fact that fraud is a major problem in the sector. But then going forward, for example, Discovery is saying that they do about 10,000 investigations into practitioners every year, but none of these are specifically targeted. These are mostly because of tip-offs that they receive from the public, or there's an algorithm that picks up certain concerns and that they then look into. They're saying that they do not know even the race or the gender of their practitioners, so it can't be based on that. That's what we heard from Dr. Jonathan Broomberg, who's the CEO from Discovery. That's one example of the response that they gave, so let's just take a listen.
No medical scheme or administrator is in possession of racial identification factors for practitioners. We identify practitioners based on something called their Practice Code Numbering System number, PCNS. The PCNS number is issued to a practitioner by the Board of Health Funders under license from the Council for Medical Schemes. And the only way our system identifies a practitioner is on their PCS number, and their PCNS number has no racial identification criteria, nor gender, nor anything else. And you can establish that from the BHF if you like, but we can assure you that that's the case. What would then happen is this analysis, which is conducted daily, would pop out a list of practices, again identified only by their PCNS number. And it would say, these 100 practices came out above the threshold that identifies potential risk of fraud. So we've got now 100 practices identified by PCNS number. We then again have a system which prioritizes those for investigation based on the size of the potential fraud. We don't have enough resources to investigate every case.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Our reporter Yanka Cholme following that story for us.